Hey everyone, it's Kate from Sleep Time Baby. Hope you're well, hope you're staying safe and keeping sane. It's such a tricky time. I'm at home with my two kids who are so far, and my husband, we were so far adjusting to the kind of the homeschooling kind of but we're kind of just keeping going. But today I wanted to talk to you about the clocks changing, because in case you've forgotten, amongst all this craziness, on Sunday the clocks go forward. So in spring, the clocks go forward 1 hour. So I wanted to give you my simple advice about how to handle it. The first thing to say is that don't worry about it. I really think that this is kind of something that we all build up to and go, oh my God, how is it going to handle? And it just happens and we're fine. People worry about kind of how bright it's going to be in the mornings, but we'll cover all of that. So here's my kind of quick top tips on how to handle it. I've got 5 for you. So the first thing is don't do anything until Sunday. People will talk about building up to the change, but I think that children can handle a bit of variance in their schedules. And so if you build up to it too much, you can stress yourself out a bit more. So wait until Sunday, then change all the clocks and get onto that kind of new schedule. So don't do anything till then. Tip number 2 is to try and get them tired during the day. So what you want to be doing is trying to keep them active. There are loads and loads of online resources out there. I will try and share to them on my social media. There are things like Gymboree and St Albans are doing an amazing kind of online video. Musical Bears Hartford doing the same sort of thing. Loads and loads of resources out there that you can kind of get your kids out and moving. If you're lucky to have enough to have a garden and access to it, get out there. It's been really sunny this week. If not, just do kind of practice, crawling practice, jumping practice, however it is. Just try and tie them out to get them in a good space to sleep a touch earlier. And on to that, tip number 3 is all about how to handle bedtime. So in terms of bedtime, what we're going to be looking at is putting them to bed half an hour earlier. So let's work this through, and I always get slightly muddled in this, so bear with me. So normally you would put them to bed, or let's say on Saturday night it'd be 7 o'clock. On Sunday night that becomes 8 o'clock. So what I would suggest you do is for 3 nights, put them to bed at 7:30 in the new time, which would be half an hour earlier than normal. And what you can do then is just go for that bedtime for 3 days and then switch back to your normal bedtime of 7 o'clock. So you're sort of meeting yourself in the middle so that you can actually sort of bridge that gap a little bit, but just for a short period of time. And they should adjust quite quickly. A variance of half an hour bedtime for a child is normally acceptable. So the tip number 4 is about naps. So if your child is still napping, then what I would suggest you do is you kind of do the same. So let's say your child has a nap at, 11 o'clock, which will then become 12 o'clock. So then you would go for the nap at 11:30, having got them nice and tired. And then after 3 days, revert to your normal schedule. Hopefully that sort of navigates it and eases you into that kind of situation. So tip number 5 is all about those windows, right? So blacking out the windows, whether it's napping in the day or whether it's kind of bedtime, early mornings, you want a darkest environment as possible to help the body stay asleep for longer. And that's all about the melatonin production. So travel blackout blinds are great. You can still get those kind of, I think, on Amazon or the kind of usual places that you would get your stuff from. Or you could do something like tin foil. Don't think that's run out yet. Or cardboard. You could pin it up to the windows. When we, with my son, we had a travel blackout blind, then we had a wooden slat blind behind there, and then curtains as well, blackout curtains, to make sure he was in as much darkness as possible, and it really helped. So keeping those rooms dark is great, and trying to lower the light levels before bedtime as well if you can, just to kind of help them settle down in terms of kind of the melatonin production is produced basically when it gets a bit duskier and darker. So if you can get them in a lower light, that will really, really help. So yeah, that's it. That's kind of my 5 top tips. I'm going to be posting my Q&A normally on Monday, but if you've got any kind of other questions, then do let me know. I'm always kind of here to help. I'm having to reduce my hours in terms of the time that I'm working slightly, so I'm kind of only taking on sort of exclusive clients, probably 1, maybe maximum 2 a week. So if you're looking for sleep help or any guidance, I don't know whether it's kind of helping with naps or anything, do get in touch. You can join my waiting list and I will get to you. It just might be a little bit more tricky as everything is at the moment, but stay safe, stay well, wash those hands, follow the guidelines, and good luck with the clock change. All right, take care, bye bye.